everybody, it's Margo here at My Favorite Quilt Store, and Mary Jean is here. How are you doing?
Everybody probably thought I moved away.
They did, and I would tell you that we had some people that were highly upset that you're not doing the sew along with Kim Deal, Kim Deal's fabric this time around.
They sure are nice though.
They are beautiful out there, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. Maybe.
No, you haven't. But her husband retired, and they've been doing more traveling.
We have.
That's why Mary Jean hasn't been here as much as she has been in the past.
Please forgive me.
Yes. She's out enjoying life. Which has to happen at some point, doesn't it?
I am, but I have been still sewing. And
you have?
Unfortunately, when you sew and sew and sew, you get some UFOs, don't you?
You do get some UFOs.
Why don't we talk about mine?
All right, let's see what you have for some UFOs.
So I am gonna admit to you that this is maybe the oldest UFO I have in my drawer.
Oh my gosh.
And I can think everybody that is watching this is probably sympathizing with me that I'm tired of moving this one around.
Okay.
So how about you and I figure this one out?
So it's wool applique. These are so pretty. Did you do these like on a drive, or this was like a hand project that you could take with you, wasn't it?
You know what, Margo? This has been since, I bet, the early 2000s. I couldn't even tell you when I did these.
So you did it maybe at B.
Maybe a B. Yes,
Yeah,
I bet
maybe
you I
a B.
did.
You could have taken these so that you had something to sew. So how many of these do we have in it? So they're these blocks
They're all different flowers. 9.5, I think.
Well, 9.5 by 8.5. So they're they're not square. They're rectangular.
Okay, they're rectangular. So we have daisies. We have whatever these are.
Let's see how close we are on all these. Because sometimes it shrinks up just a little, but they all look to be about the same size.
Yeah, the purple ones are really cute. I don't know what they are, but
so those are violets.
Violets, yeah. And then we have these. I'm going to call these bleeding hearts.
Yeah, those could be bleeding hearts.
And
this
then
is
we
just
have
like a almost flower. Those are.
I'm going to say they're bluebonnet, maybe, or
that or plumeria or
hydrangea. Not really.
Not really hydrangea. These are daisy.
Those are daisies, yeah. So
daffodils.
I was going to say daffodils.
And these are almost, I don't know, just round pink flowers.
Yeah. We could just call them posies.
Posies.
So these blocks are heavy.
They are heavy.
This is a heavy grade of wool.
It is a heavy grade of wool. It's very thick. It's almost feltish.
Right. And then on top of it, this brown, which is every one of these baskets are different browns. I'm going to go with hand-dyed.
I think hand-dyed too.
Probably not a block that we are ever going to wash. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know if I've ever washed anything that's a wool applique.
I don't know that I've ever washed anything that's a wool applique either. So so a lot of times you have wool applique on your table, in your coffee table?
I do, but it's kind of a round coffee table thing for the one. And then I would need something more rectangular, which this might fall into.
I was going to say, I was thinking this one could fall into the rectangle table in the den.
Right.
What do you think about the rectangle table in the den in front of the couch?
I think that's a great idea. But would you... But would you set them like this?
I would. I would set them where they're opposite one another, where they look at each other so that when you're looking at it from one direction, you can see the flowers, and then when you're looking at it from the other sections. I would probably set them in an arrangement and put some sashing in between them. And like maybe, I don't know if I'd use black, but I'd definitely put the...
Would you use a solid, and would you use a cotton, or do I have to go wool applique with them?
I think you could use a cotton.
Could I?
I think you could use a cotton, but you're going to need to put a little bit of stabilizer in it. Otherwise, it's going to be,
that's
going to fold up like a,
And we did a really good video. Maybe we could try that video of stabilizers one time, didn't we?
We did do a good thing of stabilizers a while back. So I would set them, and I would set them pretty close to one another.
I think you're right.
And then with a pretty, you could probably find something in Kim Deal's.
Yeah.
I think you need something that's more homespunny, more small print.
Yeah, and the back, a nice floral. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think a nice floral. Would you put I know you're saying put a sashing strip in. Would you put a corner cornerstone?
You could put
I
a
think
cornerstone in there. A small
yeah.
cornerstone would be nice.
How about a small border than like maybe a 2-inch border around it?
Around it?
Do you think it needs something like that, or do I just stop it where it is?
No, I think you're gonna have to put the border around it.
I think you're right.
I think you're gonna have to put a border around it and then bind it and quilt it. You're not gonna want to go over these too much, but you're gonna quilt in between.
Yeah. So, answer me this. This might be a little bit more of a technical question, but what do you think that quilt as you go method? You know, where you actually just kind of put the sashing on the I don't want to say quilt as you go.
Right.
But you put
but
the
you put
sashing
on
on the
here,
top.
you sew it here, and
and
then
then
you
you-
flip it, and then you put this one on there, and you flip it, and you have the batting included in it.
Well, that's not even what I'm thinking about. Like a sashing that's already made, and you put it on, and then you sew down the sides to sew the sashing on. Because I'm thinking, the reason why, I'm going to tell you the truth now. The reason why I have done nothing to this is I'm thinking that once this is folded over with a 1/4-inch seam, it's going to be bulky.
Yeah. So I think you're right. So you could make yourself a strip that goes on that you could just sew on top and just turn it under. You know, you can turn it under on both sides and then sew it on top.
Kind of like a big piece of bias tape.
Yeah.
Not bias tape.
No, because
I wouldn't do the bias.
You wouldn't do the bias. You wouldn't have a backing on it.
Yeah, but I would use one of those. What are those things called? They're bias tape makers.
Bias tape makers, but you would just turn down 2 sides.
Straight a grain, sort of like when you're making what's it called? Like stems for an applique.
Yeah.
Okay, well I like
So you
that
can
idea.
make that and then sew those down because you're right. To turn this is going to be very difficult. And what you might even do is get your piece of batting to the right size that you needed to go right in between it.
Good idea.
And then put that in at the same time. And then if you sew on it a little bit, it's not going to matter.
Right.
But it'll already be in there and ready to go. And then you're just going to need to put the backing on.
I think that's a great idea. I think we have solved my issue.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
So I think
two
this
heads
is
are
gonna
better
look,
than one.
and
right
they
there.
are sometimes. I think this is going to look great on your in your den.
I think so too.
On the coffee table.
It's probably the right size. You're
I
right.
think it is. Just you don't want to make this too big.
So I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you I have totally lost the pattern, and I have no idea how they set this.
Yeah.
This pattern's so old. I bought this at Quilt Festival, I bet you in the 90s, and did them in the early 2000s.
Well, it's time to get this project
It is.
finished
And I think
out
we're gonna do it.
and out of the drawer, and so everyone can see your beautiful handwork because they're just made so beautifully.
I think
You
so
do,
too.
You do great wool applique.
Well,
I've got a couple of her wool applique things at my house out on the coffee tables.
do you?
You did? I do.
Oh,
You've given
I feel
me
so
some.
special.
You should. Okay, so you still have.
You want to keep
stuff.
going?
Let's see what else you got here. That's driving you crazy.
Okay, back in the early 2000s, maybe, or is it in the 90s? I have some oldies.
Hey, you're dating yourself.
I have some oldies but moldies. Margo
When you were only 15 quilting?
Yeah. Margo and I had 2 lovely friends who ran a business called Bird Brain Design.
That's right, we do.
Tina and
Robin.
And we worked for them. I'm going to say worked for them at a quilt festival.
Yep, we helped them set up the booth, and we usually rang the register while they sold the whole time.
And then we went out to dinner afterwards.
That's right, and had
Yes.
a wonderful time, and they became very good friends.
They did. Hi, Robin and Tina, if you're watching.
Mary Jean had asked them if they needed someone to watch their booth while they went to the bathroom. Wasn't it that you just walked
that's
up?
it.
Or no, they couldn't leave the booth, and they were in an RV, and they couldn't. They had no food.
Yeah.
So Mary Jean would make them sandwiches.
That's
what
exactly
it was.
it.
You
Yep.
made them sandwiches and brought them lunches, sack lunches. The first year we didn't work for them, and that's how you got to know them.
That's how we got to know them.
And from then on, we just started working for them and doing stuff. So this is a Bird Brain Design.
This is a Bird Brain Design.
Is this machine or hand?
Well, I'm going to just brag a bit that say I did this by hand.
I know you did.
It's spring, summer, winter, and fall. And I love these.
They
well,
are
I guess
so
it's
pretty.
autumn. It's not fall. Autumn.
Right.
Same
autumn.
thing.
Same thing.
And I left them so that we can make them any size we wanted to make them. You know,
widthwise. So
I gave it enough to be generous that we could cut it down a bit.
Yep. So I really see this as a long,
like a bell pull,
like something long that's going to go down like this. But it's got to be in order. Spring, because I got spring and then winter and then summer and then autumn. So you need to put them in order, not the order I have them. Not the order I have them in.
Yeah. The autumn and then winter.
And winter.
So we better do that right now.
Yeah, so we don't mess up. So I would put them in order and kind of do them like a long, skinny bell pull that you could hang on the wall.
What do you think about doing them separately and hanging the spring in the spring and the
So like on a little hanger, do them more as a because you do have one of those little hangers.
Yeah, and I think there's lots of hangers out there that
so you just want to hang them one at a time.
I don't know. I could do.
I think you need to get some of the red fabric though to put around it and make it.
I think so too. I bet a Bella Solid.
Yep.
Or what do you have that you think would be a good? Not a mobile. Say it.
Moda marble.
That's it.
No, not a marble, but probably a solid. We could get something. But hey, we just got in 300 colors of confetti cotton from Riley Blake, which might be a nice. They might have a nice solid that would go with this.
There we go.
She is still designing some fabrics. We don't have any in stock right now. Robin is. And every now and then we get them in, so you might be able to find something from, and I might have some of my stash too that would go with this. It's her color range.
So just because I liked doing that.
Oh my gosh, you got another one. I might not have that much fabric left.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that this is bird brain though, but this is something.
Yeah, but it's very similar.
It's very similar. So.
Oh yeah, but that's their bird. It's bird brain.
Oh right, it is their
bird. That's bird brain. That's their design.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, we got a lot. The more we keep uncovering, we got more and more blocks like this.
I have so many.
So this is summer. Let's get it off your chest. We got summer, autumn. Again, the same 4.
Yeah. This one I think I'm going to probably set some way and donate. What happened here? Oh, this is okay. How do you feel about me setting it like in a snowball block and then doing like a bunch of 2.5-inch squares and kind of like offsetting and making them more of a.
So this is going to be a wall hanging then, and it's going to be all 4 blocks together in the wall hanging, and then you're going to intersperse bits of fabric, 2.5-inch squares in between it, and then make it kind of a random.
I think that would offset it a bit.
Yeah, I think that would look good.
Yeah, because this is pretty plain compared to that one.
Yes, it is. This one doesn't have as much interest. This one you don't want to take away from the beautiful intricacy of the sewing design. This one doesn't have quite as much.
Yeah. So
you could square these up even smaller and then put sashing and other things around it.
Yeah, I think I'll work with units in like 2.
So you must have been going to way too many bees to be getting all this stuff hand sewn and done.
I don't even know. I don't even know. These are something that's kind of been, I don't like UFOs. I'm really one of those kind of persons that don't like UFOs.
You normally don't have them. That's why I'm so surprised that we're on our 5th. That we got 5 sitting here. So here are some. These are pretty old.
Judy Baumeier, God love her, gave me these. But the problem with these are they're cut down that I have no choice but to really set them in courthouse steps or log cabin type or just a plain old sash.
Yeah.
These are really beautifully done.
They are.
Hands. Oh, I wonder why she put these little words. That must be April. Oh, she actually labeled them.
Oh, okay. So they're a month. It's a monthly thing. So there must be 12 of them in that.
There must be 12. So I was thinking about doing the same thing with this. It's just doing some sort of pattern that's divisible by 2 and going from there.
Yeah, or 3. And since you got 12, you could do 3 by 4 or 4 by.
Right.
4 by 4.
You did that well.
I'm having to do math on the fly here. But I do think I like the courthouse steps, and I think, whose line would look really good around this is Kim Deal's, because she has a lot of this, like, you're going to want to bring out that gold in there.
Right.
And the dark, and it's got a lot of different colors in it. Like, it's not just one color.
She likes to work with that taupe color, too, Kim Deal does.
Yeah.
With that taupe color that's actually in in the
Exactly.
snowman.
So you can actually get a really better look on the back of them of the thread colors used, so that you can find some of the same thread colors.
Didn't Judy do lovely
She
work?
did lovely work. The back is as beautiful as the
I
front.
know. I don't want you to look at the back of mine. And
I already did. They
You're
look
lucky
fine.
you're my friend.
They look fine. I just didn't show it on camera.
Last but not least, back in the early 90s, when I was teaching myself to applique, this is what I decided to learn applique on.
Oh, so this is one of your first projects
This
of
is
applique.
my first applique project, and I'm not going to say that it's good, but it's done.
Okay.
Sometimes done is better than good.
I know, but a lot of people don't hand applique, and is a very difficult skill to learn, which you have mastered over the years. If this was one of your first ones, this is better though than a lot of people's very first applique.
So
And they're beautiful blocks.
my advice to anyone who would like to learn how to applique is be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't learn it in one day.
No.
And
this
pick something with larger pieces.
Yeah.
Look at the little tiny
this
pieces
is a lot of tiny pieces all in the same one. So this gives me a more primitive feel.
It is very primitive, and it's kind of folk artish.
Yeah, folk art, exactly.
Don't ever learn applique by doing a heart either. I think the heart is one of the hardest things. And isn't it amazing? Every single person, when they're trying to learn applique, what do?
They try a heart because you've got a circle and you've got 2 points and circles. That was why the lady that on my first quilt class that had applique in it, she said we're going to learn a heart because you learn 2 points, an inverted point and an exterior point, and you learn a gentle curve. And so she wanted to make sure that you had those in your arsenal to be able to do hand applique, because this bird is nothing but gentle arcs where you don't have to make a point. And you don't have to do a curve, whereas you have lots of different curves in here, and leaves are another thing that they like you to do first because they're
But not this size leaf.
not that size leaf.
Please make a leaf larger than 1 inch.
You did start on a pretty big
I
leaf,
did.
but I think you ought to finish this.
I think so too, and I think this will probably just be a little wall hanging also.
Yeah,
I
and just
brought-
put a little bit of sashing in between it.
Yeah.
In some of the colors, you could actually even do a nice brown in between the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That would look nice and bring that. That's a color that kind of goes throughout, and it's would set off the applique.
I think I did kind of back in the day of thimbleberries. Remember thimbleberries?
yeah.
Thimbleberries. I haven't seen much of that. Is that even around anymore?
No.
Back in the
Long
day
gone.
of thimbleberries, I had a lot of that fabric, and as you can tell, a lot of this is thimbleberries fabric.
Yep.
I was a big supporter. They probably went out of business when I stopped using thimbleberries.
So it's your fault.
It's probably my fault, right?
And you've got a lot of blocks here that you did.
I did a lot of blocks. I don't know where the pattern is anymore.
So you might have an odd number here.
Oh gosh.
6,
7, 8, 9.
9.
Well, it's a
Oh,
3
3 by 3 then.
3 by 3. We're
yeah,
okay with
3
that.
by 3.
Yeah.
Phew.
So now
I
you
thought
have,
you were going to have a bigger problem than that.
I'm
You'd
sure
have 7.
I have a lot of problems, but
Then you'd
7
have
would've
7
been bad.
blocks. Would have been bad. Because
Ooh.
then what do you do with the 7th one? You'd have to toss one out.
Even 5.
Yes, it's a difficult number to work with.
Right. And 10 would have been awful.
10 would
I'm
have been
feeling
bad
like
too.
10 would have been bad.
You lucked out because you have a good number
I
that
do.
you can work with.
So now you've seen all my dirty little secrets.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine you got your dirty secrets out. But listen, these are all achievable problems.
They are. Maybe we'll do
So we're going to see 5 new quilts
Oh,
from Mary Jean in just a short amount of time.
we might need COVID to come back for me to sit and sew. Please no. None
Don't
of
do
that.
None of that.
But yeah. I think
But
it's
you know what? You could break it down into smaller increments and start with one of these smaller projects.
I could.
And get it done and feel accomplished.
Mhm.
And then you could work towards one of the harder ones.
I could. And I think that's probably my hardest.
I think so
because
because it's thick and it's going to be a little bit harder to work with,
Yeah.
even though it's very beautiful.
Have
The
you
only other thing you could do is just put a backing and a binding on these and use them as just throwdowns around your house.
Probably don't
But-
need much of that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed though when you decide, okay, I'm going to get this out and I'm going to work on it, and you get an idea, good or bad, but then once you start, you're really happy you did.
Yes. Yes,
You
that's
really
the
are.
way I feel about UFOs too.
I do.
And sometimes the most stumbling was, so the one I brought that we did had a bunch of blocks that were a rows that we had done in a bee swap.
Oh,
And,
gosh.
yeah, and so that none of them matched.
Not my bee.
No, not in your bee.
Okay.
Not in your bee. Long before you.
We were in the same bee for a while.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Different bee, but we had a bee swap, and so none of the rows will 100% match up. And so we came up with some ideas on how to lay it out the other day to see if I can't get that one.
Well, that's a
finished,
good
too.
idea.
So, gosh, you just do such beautiful handwork. I can't wait because she is going to be doing another demonstration on applique,
I am?
and it's a heart.
No. Oh, God, it
But
is
it's
a
a big
heart.
heart.
I forgot. It is a heart.
She's going to teach you the ins and outs of how to do that heart.
Literally.
Literally. With a gentle curve.
With a gentle curve, but we're going to be kind to ourselves with that heart.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. Okay, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us for another UFO fun time.
Yeah, welcome back, Mary Jean.
Welcome back, Mary Jean.
I won't be a stranger.
Maybe she'll come and do some more videos with me because we have so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Happy sewing. I hope you can finish some of your projects.
Till next time.